Alright, Project Dads, here we are. Got a little work to do on this thing. So I was driving home from school today. I teach, I don't go to school. Well, anyway, I was driving home from school today, and as you can see, I have the seats pulled out of the car because when I sat down to pull out, and the front of my seat broke. One of the brackets broke in it, and here's a reenactment right now. Yeah, so as you can see, it was pretty bad. But right over here, let me turn you around and show you what happened. So this is, I gotta fix that while I'm at it, but this is a 2003 Mazda Protege5, and the seat has multiple adjustments, and this one raises the back, the rear, and this one raises and lowers the front. And when I sat down, this is on the inside, this bracket broke off. Actually, right there. Right, there was no factory weld on the inside of this little piece. And so it broke, and then the front of the seat right here just flopped up and down. And I came home and I took it apart and saw what it was. So I've already taken it out, and I just had to line it back up the best I can. And as you can see, I'm not a great welder, but I got a lot of weld in there. But I had to take it all apart first and weld it and reassembled it. And so that seat is ready to go. Like I said, except for that tear, while I was at it, I put some zip ties in here, because from the factory it has these pieces of elastic, and they rot, and your kids will stick your feet under the seat and then it rips that down. So I zip tied that so I don't have this piece of floppy cloth anymore. So since I had this seat out, I went ahead, it was so easy using my impact there, that I decided I was going to clean up under the seats and go ahead and take out the other one. So as you can see, I've taken out the other seat, it's over there, and I've cleaned up under the seat. I'm using this rubber brush to pick up all the stuff. The person who owned the car before me had a dog, so there's this dog hair, and it's about time that I cleaned up. So now I'm vacuuming it all out. And I thought while I was under here, I've been wanting to do something about these worn out pedal pads. That's I think about 165,000 miles worth, and the clutch one's never been there. So I'm gonna fix those and get the seats put back in. But also I have a big problem, and I don't know if any of you with the Protege5 have this too, but when the air conditioning is set to blow from the dash vents, it blows more air out of the floor heater box than it does out of the dash. So I'm gonna come while I can, and it's hard to see, but there's a linkage up in there, and I'm going to see if I can adjust that linkage so that I can have more air, so it'll divert more air forward. So just a few little projects right now that happened just because my seat broke on the way home. And so right now I'm going to finish vacuuming this stuff up. So far I've found a quarter, dime, nickel, penny. I've found a ring, 2 thumbtacks, one of those dental floss toothpicky things, and did I say a silver ring? I found a sterling silver ring that says Love Life, and on the inside it says Be Brave. So I cleaned that up and gave that to my daughter already. So, but yeah, this needs to be cleaned. That's pretty gross. And soon it'll be better than before. All right, Project Dads, have a look under the dash with me. Like I said, I'm gonna start with this knob. Whoa, sorry. I'm gonna start with this knob turned all the way onto the defrost. All right. We're gonna try to do this with 2 hands. So, and then you're gonna look under here, and this controls all so that's defrost, and that's half and half. That should be floor. This should be half and half the other way, and this is the dash vents. Now I'm concerned that there's, if you look, there's a little bit where it can go. And I got to looking, I thought, I don't know if there's any adjustment on this, but so right here where this cable, I can't feel it on, where this cable moves, it's like a bicycle cable except for it's solid, but that cable is locked in to that metal bracket, and I feel like if I move the housing, the black housing back in that cable holder, I might get a little bit more play. And if that's not it, then I don't know, there might be an adjustment on that middle screw, but this is what I'm going to try for right now. Alright, I'm not sure if you can tell from this angle. I couldn't hold the camera and do it, but as you can see, I moved that cable housing back. Let me see what happens when I turn this knob now. So it's all the way one way. Yeah, it goes all the way. There's no more gap. Now the only concern now is that maybe on the defrost end, I won't get as much air coming on the windshield, but when I turn the car on, I'll be able to see. And if that's wrong, then it's easy enough to adjust. All right, I'm out of the floor. Let's see. Now, wow, yes. Now, I know you can't tell, but the air is blowing very hard from all these dash vents now. But under here, where I was normally a lot of blow through on my feet, so when I was recording that clip, my radio turned on and the phone went to Bluetooth and I lost all my audio. But what I was saying was, now when I have this turned onto dash vents, I get lots of air out of all the dash vents, but none comes out of the floor. So that, if you're having that same problem, that is the fix. All right, now to move on. Of course, we've got a storm brewing, lots of thunder, and so I really need to get the seats back in before the rain comes down on them. So I think I'm gonna have to do that real fast. If you've ever removed a seat on a car, they're pretty much, all the seats I've ever done on cars are pretty much the same. They're gonna have, well, there's plastic covers you just have to pop out. And then there's gonna be two bolts up front. As you can see, there's one, and here's one. These are 14mm. And you can use a wrench or a ratchet. Just this impact is the way to go. But you gotta slide the seat all the way back to access those. Then you will slide the seat all the way forward, and then from the back seat, it's going to be hard to see back here. Well, you can see that exposes two more bolts, but they're also under plastic covers. So then make sure to put your covers back. You don't want to lose these, because I just found out when I took out the driver's side seat, one of my covers is missing, but I have all four for this one, and I'm going to snap those back in place. And this car will be good to go. Now don't forget, you might have seen me fiddling with it, there is under the driver's seat, there are two plugs. One is for the seatbelt that, you know, tells the driver your seatbelt's not on, and the second one is for the airbag system. So make sure that you don't forget those, or you're gonna get an airbag code. So hopefully I didn't set a code by turning the car on without the seats in. But this thing is ready to go. Oh yeah, here's the plug right here. And so just make sure you get that tucked up. There should be a clip under the seat where you can clip it to, and then keep your kids from getting tangled up into or anything like that. Once I get this put together, I might work with those pedals tonight. Okay, now I might not. Time to do something about this pedal pad. As you can see, like I said, the car came with only one when I bought it, with about 155,000 miles on it, and This one's worn through, and you can buy these cheap, and the factory ones look just fine to me, but I probably I'm gonna make something a little bit more custom. I've done this before. It's free because I got scrap material laying around, and I just can't leave anything alone. I gotta get the welder out of the way. This is the little Lincoln wire feed welder I use. It does not weld pretty, but I trust my welds, and this thing has been through a lot of wire, and I have never had a problem with it. So, well, never a problem I couldn't fix. So that's my welder. Right here I have a piece of aluminum. It's pretty heavy because it used to be a street sign. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do is trace out this pedal, scratch it out, and then cut out new pedals from aluminum, and then drill them, shine them, and make some custom pedals out of this. It's pretty thick. It's going to hold up. And I'll probably just, since it's aluminum onto a metal pedal, instead of tapping and drilling it in, I'll probably just pop rivet them in, but I'll see when it gets down to that. So stay tuned. All right, you might be able to see, I used this scratch awl, and I traced the outer edge. You can see some scratch marks there. And anytime I'm cutting on material, you don't want to start in the middle and then have a bunch of waste. And plus it saves you some cuts. So I just put it right on the corner and right on this old cut right here. And it's going to compromise the length because it's over, but it doesn't matter since it doesn't have to fit. It's just going over. So I'm going to cut these out. My weapon of choice for cutting is an angle grinder with a cutting wheel. That's a flap disc. I've got a cutting wheel on that one up there. And so I'm going to cut these out now, and then can start to shape and smooth out and polish them up. There's my two cuts. So now it's just time to shape these up to make them look a little bit more like pedals. There's the start of the clutch and brake pedals. That can be sanded out. Now, I'm handling this with gloves right now, but if you're ever working with aluminum, you can grind all day, but if you want the edges to be smooth, you need to use a file. A file works so much better to get the burrs off and to really make it smooth. So, but I just wanted to get the surface good and clean so I can mark some holes. So, got two pretty much the same pieces of aluminum for my clutch and brake pedals. But I went ahead and cut a gas pedal. Now they don't look like much now. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do because I don't want them slippery, so I have to add some grip, and that was lightning. And I don't know where y'all live. It is quarter to 8 at night, and it is hot out here. In North Carolina, we have something called humidity. Some of you don't know what that's like. Anyway, Here's my pedal. Like I said, this flat, this one's gonna have to be bent a little bit. I might bend the other ones, but it really doesn't matter. Nobody's gonna look close at these anyway. But like I said, the main thing is to have grip so your feet don't slip off of them, which could cause an accident. So I'm thinking about drilling some holes. I also was thinking about maybe putting some small Allen, you hear that thunder? Hurry up. I was thinking about drilling and screwing some Allen head screws into here and get some grip. But I'm not gonna spend any money on this, so I'm just gonna have to look around and find what I got. So let's see. I found this jar of hinge screws. Now, when I looked at them, I thought they were stainless steel because they had that kind of look to them. But I stuck one to a magnet and it stuck very easily. So these are not stainless steel, so they could rust. But I thought I would try these. I have them. They are a tapered screw. You can see that notch in them. So they are kind of a self-tapper. And so I drilled out one of these pads and put them in. Now, since it's not a pan head, it's a tapered head, I did not notch them, so they stick out. And so that is actually very grippy. Now, I'm not sure if I like this. And look how crooked I did that. Wow, that's horrible. I just eyeball everything. But I'm figuring if it's down on the floor, who's going to notice? Who's going to care? So if I like this, which I'm going to look at it for a little while and see if I do. If I like this, I'm going to take my cutoff wheel and I'm going to cut the backs of these off because they are threaded in there very tight. If I don't like it, I just might start over. I think I might try it. But my only problem is I might have run out of room now to mount this pedal pad. All right, I held one up in the car and I think it looks pretty good. I still need to do something to offset the shininess of everything. Whoops. And anyway, I've cut the backs off of them, and there's a lot of grip, and I think they're going to do good. They look super amateur, which is just fun for me. So I think I have one idea left to change the color a little bit. So I'm going to try to, I need to find my torch, and I'm going to heat up all these screw heads, and since they're steel, I can discolor them with heat, and the aluminum should stay the same. I don't know, it might burn. We'll see. Alright, so it's the next day. It's still raining, but I'm just going to go with these, and they're going to work for right now. And the way I'm installing these is with pop rivets. Now you can see I've cut all the screws off the back, and I did discolor them with the torch, so they have a little bit of contrast to them. But like I said, this is going to be on the floor, and if I hate them, it hasn't cost me anything but a little bit of time. So anyway, I've installed one, and as you can see, I have 3 pop rivets in there, and if I feel like it starts to rattle or I need more, I'll do more. So all I'm doing is I've already drilled one, and what I did was I held the pedal up and I drilled it with a 1/8 inch drill bit, and then use these pop rivets. And I know a lot of you probably know how these work, but this pop rivet has a steel shaft. These are actually aluminum. They make them out of steel, stainless steel that I know of. But when you, well, let's just do one. When you put this end into the pop rivet gun, and it goes into there, when you pull, it grips and it pulls, and when it does that, you can see it mushrooms out the end until the stalk breaks off. We're gonna see how far this one goes, and it keeps mushrooming it out, and it usually breaks, but it has nothing to pull against, so I don't know if this one's actually gonna break off. Let's see. Yep, there, that clicked and it broke, and so that now it normally comes off, but that way it squeezes it out, and when that mushroomed out end gets stuck on the other side of the piece of metal, there you go, and this part you just get rid of, it sandwiches the two things together. So I'm going to, what I normally do is I will line up one I will line up one and get that one in place. I don't drill all my holes first because then it's going to be hard to line them all up perfectly. So if I just do one to begin with, and they do squeeze pretty tight, so that's why I'm adjusting it as I go. And I've done this before on pedals, and they've actually held up very well. So there, now I've got one. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 to 3 more. And then I also have the gas pedal, which I will attach the same way over there. And like I said, up close, these things look pretty junky, but from far away, I think it's going to be just right. And it'll be better than having none at all. So I'm going to keep putting these on. Alright, the job is done. I've got them installed under there, and my brake pedal is hilariously crooked. I've got a light under here. And but from the car, from about this angle, they look perfect. So I might just call this job done today. I've fixed my air conditioning, I've fixed my seat, vacuumed out the car, and then I replaced some pedals just for the heck of it. Alright, Project Dads, so if you like what you've seen today, then keep watching. Hopefully we'll have some more projects that we're doing. And I say we, but I still don't know where Nelson is. So hopefully I can give you some more content that is more like what you do around your house. Alright, take it easy.